That was the worst fucking intro fuck up we've had yet.
You're rushing me.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Any new listener is going to listen to that and be like, what the fuck did I just tune in? You just cut the music. Just cut the music. It's fine. It's fine. Fuck it. It's already done. We're already
Welcome to the fucking show.
we got notified
It's gonna
from
be
Rumble.
rough and sloppy.
And today, no less, we get notifications from Rumble saying we're doing a great job. The show is growing, and we've got that for the intro. Oh, it's fucking wonderful. It's fucking wonderful. Oh my gosh.
My apologies.
Oh my God. I think it's to be expected at this point.
Yeah.
We're not professional. We fuck things up so much, it's like to be expected. So people shouldn't like be surprised. Like we don't have production value like the Daily Wire and the rest of them. It's just me and Josh in a room, high and drunk half the time. So who fucking cares?
Testing out the new formulas.
Game shows, yeah. Oh yeah, that's what Josh is doing right now. If you're tuning in or you're listening, Josh is actually throw that my way. I'm not a whiskey fan, so as you know, we're launching the 1920 brand. It's a drink mix company, and this is the old-fashioned mixture that we've come up with that we're formulating.
Good.
I don't like whiskey, so I'm gonna try it.
I do like whiskey. It's good.
Ugh, I can't do whiskey. Oh God. Oh, I'd rather suck dick. Oh God. Oh, it's nasty.
It's always an option for you.
Oh my God. Now I tried the mix. The mix is incredible. The mix is amazing. The whiskey tastes like fucking licking a butthole. Ugh. No, can't do it. I just don't get the appeal of whiskey. I don't.
It's good. I
know. I probably because my ovaries are oversaturated with estrogen or some shit. I don't know. All the dudes in the comments are gonna make fun of me. Who gives a fuck?
It's all right. I understand why you keep vodka in your purse.
I soak my tampons in it. It's another way to get drunk. Oh my God. Welcome to the show, folks. Glad you're here today. Thank you for tuning in. We've got a great show for we've got a great show for you here today, folks. A great show. We got a little Family Guy interjection in there, Jesus. But no, a lot of interesting things in the news. We've got George Santos, newly elected up in New York. He's in the GOP, I believe, in the House of Representatives. He's under fire. You got immediate. Well, he's the one that was faking being a Jew.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he came out and was like, "Hey, vote for me. Why not? Vote for the other guy."
But they say nothing about Liz Warren.
No, of course not. I mean, yeah, that's just,
come on.
Again, once more. Well, here's the thing. It's like, what would we prefer to have happen? Like the GOP forgive this kind of stuff like the left does, and then we eventually turn into the left, or we just continue to hold ourselves to a standard while the left continues to morally decay?
No, I'm not saying it's right. But,
it's like,
but if that's your ammunition,
yeah.
then okay, you need to.
It's to be expected that the left is going to be hypocritical, and I mean, look how much good they've done. They removed the Land of Lakes woman from the plantation on the butter, or the reservation, excuse me. They got rid of her. They canceled Uncle Ben. That old black ass is gone. Aunt Jemima was on the chopping block. Great job, liberals. You just took black people out of your products in Native America. Well, you're really good for minorities. You just took out the representation.
I know.
Because they didn't like the representation. So, and I don't give a fuck who you are. Like, I don't give a shit. Look, that black woman that basically portrayed like the olden days with the handkerchief around her head, like the mama kind of thing, the slave days and shit like that. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a representation of that. That was a representation of black Southern cooking. And if you've never experienced that graphic is on the fucking money. It is on the money. You ever go to a Black Baptist church when they're doing like dine-ins and stuff? Like, oh my God. I was having this conversation the other day that we have these stereotypes, black people like purple or grape flavor, white men can't jump, shit like that. But it was going over certain stereotypes. Like, again, we talked about fried chicken. Mm-hmm. It's like, that's not a black thing. That's a Southern thing. And a lot of people in the North don't know about putting salt on watermelon. And we've discussed this before. Yeah, you put a little bit of salt on the watermelon, and it basically turns it just slightly sour, but makes it even more juicy. Really? It's delicious. Oh, it's great.
Well,
but
I love watermelon and fried chicken.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's a Southern thing. But no, to go back to the whole thing is like they're canceling these prominent figures and the representation of it. And it's like, well, it's offensive. It's like, is it? I was like, I'm sorry. When I look at Aunt Jemima shit, I don't think slavery. I think that's some damn good syrup. Know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's just me, though. I'm weird. I don't know.
I'm right there with you, buddy.
Maybe it's because we're not as racist as they want us to be. I guess. I don't know. I've never looked at like Aunt Jemima syrup and be like, oh, thank God we enslaved the darkies. It's like I've never. I don't get why people think that. Do they think that like white people walk around with like Klan's robes in their back pockets, like a miniature cross to burn? It's like, oh, here's your initiation card. It's like, well, I don't get where these people come off like thinking like that. But again, these are liberals. There's no understanding their logic. There's no rationale. It's literally just they shit in their hands and that's their cultural rules for the day. I don't know. I don't know how else to explain it. They're kind of retarded. Well, hey, folks, this episode is brought to I always pick the worst ways to intro Shell Shock. It should be something like, I don't know, professional, like end on a good note. Like, into news, the news today, we cured cancer. This episode is brought, instead, it's just like, like 3 people were murdered in New York subway. By the way, this episode is brought to you by Shell Shock CBD. If those knife attackers had taken some CBD, they'd have calmed the fuck down. No. Oh, my God. It's crazy. But no, right now, we're doing the monthly giveaway. It's an iPhone 14, folks. Have you made a purchase of $50 or more? If you do, you're automatically entered into the giveaway. At the end of the month, we're gonna be launching this bad boy. We pick a winner, and then the next month we're doing another giveaway, and it's the same thing: $50 purchase or more. And I don't know what we're giving away next month. Is it the TV or the $500 gas card? I forget what it is.
42-inch TV.
42-inch TV. That's pretty badass.
Smart TV.
Smart TV. Well, we took a vote on locals, and they said they wanted the gas card.
Oh, really?
Actually, we're gonna throw a little Frago in there, a little change of plans. We're actually gonna give away a carton of eggs, valued at roughly $5.50. That's right, 1 carton of eggs. What you want? You want double yolk? You want brown?
Let's start.
We got it all.
Giving out chickens.
Bro, I looked that up yesterday. That's why I kind of went down that rabbit hole looking for land. Yeah. Because I was just like, can I own chickens in the area I live? And they're like, not unless you live on at least an acre of land. And even then the HOAs would be like, fuck no. So it's like, well, shit. But dude, I don't blame people. I think honestly, it's I'm not trying to say this is a good thing, the recession and inflation. I'm not saying that. What I am saying, though, is I think maybe it's going to turn people on to thinking around the ideals of kind of foraging for yourself again, learning how to cook, learning how to preserve, learning how to use chickens, things such as that. Yeah. It's not a bad thing. In fact, that's a very prosperous thing for you to do. You make yourself very independent. That's why I want to live out in the country. You have your own way of doing things. And there's so much stuff that can be done as far as living off the land that we just really take for granted. So, and I get how some people in HOAs, they can't. Some guy left a comment and it's like, the grocery stores are the ones that freaking make all the benefits because all the people don't want to fucking go do this. It's like, well, number one, to buy chickens, to set up a chicken coop, to feed them, it's not cheap. Yeah. So a lot of people can't afford that already. And then secondly, HOA is going to say no. Not going to happen. And then also state laws. So I get it, though. I get it. But yeah, I definitely would we shop local farmers markets as well as in the comments. 100%. I love supporting local farmers. And that's another thing that I feel like Americans need to get back to is supporting the local farmers and things such as that to where it's kind of like this is the backbone of America. And I feel like we've kind of gotten away from that. So myself especially. But now that we're buying more fruit because I've been doing this juicing thing, it's fucking incredible. It's incredible. It takes a lot of fruit, but makes me pretty fruity. Hey, yo.
You know what else is incredible?
What?
Shell Shock CBD.
CBD.com.
Oh, it's great. It's great stuff.
It's great stuff. And also, speaking of oranges, we have a citrus flavor CBD oil. It's great. It tastes amazing. It's one of our more popular oils. Mm-hmm. What is CBD oil going to do for you? No, it's not going to cure cancer. No, it's going to stop you. It's not going to stop you from having a baby. It doesn't do that. It'll relax the fuck out of you when you find out you're pregnant, though. That's for sure.
I got a message from one of our customers saying that the watermelon gummies helped her with their anxiety getting on the airplane and that kind of stuff. So, it's just not Delta 8 that helps you mellow out, but the CBD does as well. So.
Oh, absolutely. The Delta 8 is really, it's like CBD oil on steroids. They're completely different things. One's THC, one's not. Although we do have THC CBD oil, but it's a very, very minor amount. Yeah. So. You'd think we just, we already have that. We already have the rocket fuel. It's basically an oil-based substitute for CBD oil if you want heavy THC. Mm-hmm. Completely legal. I think it's illegal in 17 states. And if it is illegal in your state, check out our Delta 9 airborne gummies. Yeah. Basically the same thing as Delta 8. And it's legal in most states. I think it's only legal in 2. So if you're trying to find something to get you stoned, we've got you covered. We can help you out. Again, it's Delta 8 or Delta 9. Check that out. We have vapes. We have gummies. We've got it all. And also our gummies come with a gummy bag guarantee. If you take some and it doesn't work for you, scroll to the bottom of our website. It says the refund policy, and we will send you your money back. Just that easy. Just that easy. But I'm so confident it's going to work for you because we've tested all these products. So we know they work. So, and we also just released the new Tattoo Bomb. It's getting great reviews. Really good reviews, actually. A lot of people are posting their products getting there. And it looks like it's catching fire. We're so grateful for that. Yes, it does help bring the color out in your ink. It's going to make it pop. It looks amazing. And above all, it's great for your skin.
It really is.
Really good for your skin. Very healthy. It has CBD in it. Josh is holding it up right there. And we have scented and unscented. Again, that's shellshockcbd.com. That little deodorant bar worth is $20. That's $20.
Worth it.
It's definitely worth it. Oh my God. The stuff it's going to do for your skin and your ink, it's fucking great.
I'm going to go get a new tattoo. It's inspired me.
instead of the penis on your butt.
I think so. I think it's the right call.
Kyle Medicine said, I got my dog CBD from y'all, and it's amazing. Yeah, absolutely. We have Pet Treats CBD. It's great for pets. Great for anxiety. Great for pain management. You can check that out as well. All right, let's get into the news, folks. Oh, did you have something? That's not a good segue into the, well, I guess it is kind of a good segue into this clown circus we have in our American politics. George Santos faces calls to resign from Long Island GOP leaders. Republican officials on Long Island, including Representative Anthony Despacito, called on Wednesday for Representative George Santos to resign as he faces multiple inquiries into his finances, campaign spending, and fabrications on the campaign trail. So basically a standard politician. Good Lord. The Nassau County Party Chairman, Joseph G. Cairo Jr., said Mr. Santos' first-term Republican had lost the confidence of Republicans in his district, saying that Mr. Santos' campaign was one of deceit, lies, and fabrication. He's disgraced the House of Representatives, and we do not consider him one of our congresspeople, Mr. Cairo said. Today, on behalf of the Nassau County Republican Committee, I am calling for his immediate resignation. Joining via video from Washington, Mr. Despacito, who represents a district just to the south of Mr. Santos, said that his Republican colleague had violated the trust of not only the voters, but people across America. Mr. Despacito said he will not associate with him in Congress and will not encourage other representatives in the House of Representatives to join me in rejecting him. Or I will encourage people. The calls for Mr. Santos' resignation mark the sharpest denunciation yet of the congressman's behavior from Republicans after reporting in the New York Times uncovered that Mr. Santos had made false claims about his educational and professional background and raised questions about his business, his financial disclosures, and his campaign expenses. Basically similar to Majewski when he was running. Lied about his service.
I don't know. Joe Biden,
all of them. It's like this shouldn't be a partisan thing. This should be a bipartisan thing. When somebody comes out, and again, the same calls on Republicans for this guy to resign. Like you said before, we didn't see that on the left from Elizabeth Warren because she's swamp. She's swamp. They're stuck. It's like a Pelosi. They're never going to go away. They're never going to go away. They will never concede. They will never step down. To expect anything different is to get blood from a rock. It's just not going to happen.
I mean, if this guy is saying he's Jewish and he thought he was Jewish and he uses the same excuse that Liz Warren
his excuse was he's Jewish, meaning he was around the culture. So it's kind of like, I'm Jewish. And it's like, bro, you know what you were saying. You know what you were saying.
Warren said, she was like, oh, yeah, my papa, they always said we had Indian blood, we had high cheekbones.
Yeah, it's like, no, bitch, you're just ugly. That's the difference.
And he was like, yeah, we were always good with money.
That's the Jews. That's the Jews. What are you talking about? George Santos also refuses to resign after Nassau County GOP calls on disgraced congressman to step down. The Nassau GOP was the first major Republican group to call for Santos' resignation. When Fox News tried to get a hold of him, he first said no comment, and then he basically came back and said, I don't plan on resigning. That's a great representative right there. Okay. You got caught in your bullshit. You lied. Somehow you still won, but you're not going to step down. What a piece of shit. What a piece of shit.
Yeah, it's par for the course.
It's to be expected at this point.
To be working in government.
Absolutely. It's kind of like promote that man.
You're a liar. You're a piece of shit.
Yeah. Fake the Jewish thing. Yeah. Promote him.
Got it.
With this day and age, with the internet being what it is, with everything being on full display, you would think not to try and hide or fabricate something like that. What's your end goal here? You think you're going to try and get elected based upon your Jewishness? That's ridiculous. But it's not something that's so far-fetched because people do it with black, minority. I mean, people do it all the time with homosexuality. People are always using some form of ism or ality or something to that effect to get a foothold deeper. Mm-hmm. Intersectionality is an amazing thing for people to utilize to try and get a leg up on people. Like we talked about before, Elizabeth Warren on her college application put Native American. Yeah. Why? Why would you do that? You know damn well why you're doing that. Let's not even pretend at this point. So you're telling me it benefits you to be a minority in America? Sounds like some privilege to me, folks. I'm just a cracker. What do I know? I'm so sick of this bullshit.
Huh. Yeah, she knew back then that it was better to be a minority than a white woman.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know why? Because my Native Americans, a lot of them get free college.
Yeah. And they should. Should
they?
I guess. I don't know.
I don't think they should. I think that their ancestors, they got fucked over, but you also got conquered. That's all there is to it. Now, yeah, and don't get me wrong, the government fucked them over hard. But at the same token, how far do you go? They've been given land. They've been given all this stuff, casinos, all the benefits they have for Native Americans in America is insanely good. Insanely good. White people are kind of like, fuck, I'm jealous. We conquered your ass and you get more than I do. That's fucked up.
I don't know.
I think
I mean, it doesn't really affect me one way or another. I don't think.
It's your taxpayer money going into this. It's paying for them to go to college. How's that different than, say, for example, Medicare or Medicaid?
Because they're indigenous people. I don't know.
How are they indigenous? They came over on the freaking Bering Strait.
The Native Americans?
Yeah, Native American, absolutely, yeah. They weren't born here. They migrated just like everybody else. Turns out they were just weaker than everybody else. I mean, it's not my fault blankets kicked your ass.
I stand corrected. Fuck them. Changed my mind.
That sounds like Andrew Jackson right there.
Just like
I'm kidding, natives. I'm part Seminole. Don't get your feathers in a fucking ruffle. Chill. I don't know. Why don't I make the news for like getting like racist jokes and shit? Because that's funny as fuck. I'm not even trying to be a shock jockey like Howard Stern. These are just funny ass jokes. Remember when we used to laugh, America? I saw this TikTok. Oh my God. You want to talk about how culturally different we have, I don't know if I'd classify it as evolved or de-evolved. Whatever. There was this Looney Tunes cartoon. I think it was from back in the 70s, 80s, and it's Bugs Bunny, and he's having a shootout with Native Americans. They're in the rocks, and he's behind a fort, and he's sitting there shooting, and then he stops, and there's a chalkboard, goes, 1, little 2, little 3, little Indian, and he's marking off all the Indians he's killing, and it's fucking hilarious, but the little girl that's watching it, she's clearly a teenager, she's like, oh my God, these white people, and they're like racist cartoons, like, wait, what's racist about that? I was like, you do realize Native Americans were not these great indigenous people that the press and the fucking Hollywood wants you to believe. They were savage. That's why they called them fucking savages. Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. They were mistreated a lot. Absolutely. But that's just the way of the world back then. Because it always astounds me. Why is it that most culturally woke little shittards protest National People's Indigenous Days versus Columbus Day. But when it comes to Vikings, you're all about that shit. You love you some Vikings. You know what the Vikings did? They were like 10 times worse than the Americans were to Native Americans. They were in there raping, pillaging, enslaving. Yeah, they had white slaves. A lot of people don't realize that. Go look up the history of the Viking people and know they never wore horned helmets and shit like that. They were actually, a lot of them were farmers. A lot of them were farmers, but they knew how to raid, they knew how to pillage, they knew how to do all that shit. But they also took white European slaves. Oh, it's a fact. But we don't have any issues with that. It's okay when you do it to each other. It's when you do it to the brown people. Oh, God help you. God help you.
Reparations.
I want reparations. Ragnar Lothbrok enslaved my family. I want reparations. I want a goat and a chicken. Give me a chicken with some eggs. That's what I want. Ragnar Lothbrok, what the hell's your problem? I'm just saying. Where's my fucking reparations, bitch? Vikings win. Vikings win. It's fucking true. It's fucking true. I don't give a shit, folks. We should, again, we call this John Burke Uncensored, the John Burke podcast. There you go. Uncensored, we don't give a fuck. It's funny. It's funny. And if you don't think that's funny, pull a pine cone out of your ass. Well, it happened about 2 weeks ago. We were coming back from London. I saw all the hoopla over Southwest being grounded and so many flights delayed. What happened again, but this time nationwide. Over 6,400 delayed U.S. flights following massive system failure. Thousands of flights have been delayed or canceled following a mass system failure. Grounded commercial U.S. flights Wednesday morning, according to data from the Flight Aware. The Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, announced early Wednesday morning that it had experienced a notice-to-air mission system outage, prompting the agency to temporarily halt all domestic departures until 9 a.m. ET. At the time, the FAA clarified that flights currently in the sky were indeed safe to land as pilots checked the NOTAM system before taking off. A notice-to-air missions alert pilots about closed runways, equipment outages, and other potential hazards along a flight route or at a location that could affect the flight, the FAA explained, continuing to report its process throughout the morning. The FAA initially announced the departures were resuming at Newark Liberty International Airport as well as Atlanta. And in a fifth updated post at 8:50 a.m. ET, the FAA reported that normal air traffic operations are resuming gradually across the U.S. following an overnight outage to the Notice to Air Missions system that provides safety info. Okay, the ground stop has been lifted, so this put a lot of flights grounded, pissed off a lot of people, and instantly, Joe Biden, he tells Poop Buttigieg to turn it back on. I call him Poop Buttigieg.
I like it.
So Joe Biden orders Pete Buttigieg and Federal Aviation Administration to turn flight systems back on after catastrophic outage and says there is going to be a federal investigation into this. Okay, so it's a computer fuck up. And you think the government's going to fix that? Like, come on, man. Come on, man. What the hell? Are we really that stupid? Are we really that stupid, America? Come on.
Democrats are.
Well, I mean, some Republicans are too. Some Republicans are too. Because here's the thing: if this was Donald Trump, if Donald Trump was saying this, you'd have Republicans on the yes, orange daddy, 100%. And it doesn't mean I hate Donald Trump. I just like making fun of all you cocksuckers. But still. It's true. Yeah. What business has the federal government getting involved in private enterprise like this? This is ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous.
I don't know. Pete's always on vacation, though.
Oh, he does seem to be, doesn't he? Yeah.
He's always on. Did he maternity leave?
Did he poop out some more babies? Did they have some more butt babies together?
Probably. I don't know. I'm not sure how that works.
Dude, apparently men can have uteruses these days, so I don't fucking know. I saw this science. We're going to science the shit out of this. I shared this TikTok video a week or so ago about this dude pretending to experience menstrual cramps. He's a trans woman. It wasn't it. He's sitting there like, oh, I don't know how women do it. It's like, no, you really don't. So basically the pain was kind of like, bro, that's called indigestion. Take some Tums. You'll be all right. That or a laxative to kind of get that shit out of there.
Yeah. Sounds like gas pain.
Just stupidity. Just stupidity. But, I mean, what do you expect? That's just how it goes. But, President Joe Biden on Wednesday responded to the news of a catastrophic Federal Aviation Administration computer outage by ordering that the department to turn the systems back. Hey, man, turn it back on.
I know, that guy's such an idiot.
Was it on the podcast we were talking about how he confused the, oh God, who was it? It was the Salvation Army with the Secret Service.
Oh, yeah.
Were we on the stream or was it after we ended the stream?
That was after.
Oh, my God. There's a video, folks. Go Google this. Joe Biden turns around and he's at a Salvation Army event and he confuses them for Secret Service. And you hear him talking and the guy's just sitting there going, yes, Mr. President. You can tell he's like nodding and, oh, God. Just pity, I guess you could say.
Humoring.
He's humoring him 100%. Yeah. It's like, oh, you sweet old man. Who changes your diapers? We are being led by the emperor with no clothes and no common fucking sense. He is dementia-ridden, folks. Oh, and speaking of dementia, go look at Ron Jeremy. Holy crap. He basically, his lawyers and the judges confirmed that he will not stand trial for the over 30 rape accusations levied at him because of dementia, that he is not physically or mentally fit to stand trial. He's got such insane levels of dementia. You take one look at this guy, you're like, dude, you have been put through some ringers. You like those drugs really took a toll on you. He does not look good. I mean, not that he ever did, honestly, but Jesus.
Not the best looking porn star.
Not the best looking porn star, no.
Extremely popular for some reason, right?
Yeah, the hedgehog, hairy little bastard. Remember that? I
don't get it.
Remember Boogie Nights?
He had like the skullet, bald on top, long hair in back.
Yeah. He was making a kind of comeback in cultural circles as far as like being in, Boondock Saints. He was in that one. He was kind of like, he was in that one. He was kind of like in these rare appearances that it's like, oh fuck, it's Ron Jeremy. So he was kind of in these cool movies and he had like his little part in there. But my God, oh man, he had like, the charges against him were not good. And the fact that he is in that industry, it's like, bro, that is such a slippery slope of these accusations of rape or forced sodomy and things like that. It's like, were you doing porn or were you raped? It's just like, that's such a disgusting area to get into. And I don't know. I feel like
the Danny DeVito of porn.
Yes. Speaking of that, speaking of Danny DeVito, growing up, did you ever watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia? I didn't either. But apparently, I've been on this Always Sunny in Philadelphia kick. And this is one of the funniest shows I have ever fucking seen. I've never seen it fully. I think I'm on like season 7 or 8. And I think they just dropped a new season back in 2001, like season 15. But this show is hilarious. You can never make it today. It could, again, you could half the shit they talk about in the, oh my God, it is the most hilarious bit. If you've never seen it, I love it, dude. It's freaking hilarious. But
I'll have to get into it.
Yeah, I'm really surprised the show didn't have way more traction, but maybe because it was so offensive during those days that people were like, oh my God, like we actually had very, very high standards. Now it's like, yeah, whatever. As long as they're not fucking kids, it's okay. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. And a matter of fact, they make a lot of those jokes too. They make a lot of those jokes. But yeah, there we go. Oh my gosh. This is This is real, folks. I'm not making this up. Biden's weighing in, forcing electric stoves when electricity prices are skyrocketing. Joe Biden's administration was talking about considering banning gas stoves. I'm not making this up. I wish I was. I really wish I was. So, this is the green energy push. Once again, the left is exemplifying how ignorant they are to the economics behind the green energy, which doesn't make sense and most people cannot afford it. So they're simply saying because it's way more, or AOC in all her infinite wisdom tweeted out talking about, you do know that like gas stoves and things similar have been linked with like being able to not function as well. It's like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Like, I will not be lectured by a bartender. I will not be lectured by the likes of you that doesn't know dick about fuck. Like, I'm just not. I refuse to. Stupid people don't get to put a voice in my ear. I refuse to allow it. But she tweets that out, and that somehow supports the idea that banning gas stoves is okay. What?
Huh.
What? You have rolling blackouts in California. Electric bills are through the fucking roof. Even this last summer. Like, oh my God, I got a brand new house, and I was hitting about $250 electrical bills. Mm-hmm. I'm like, good Lord. Good Lord. And I got a single story. Yeah, I can only imagine what two-story houses are.
It's a terrible administration.
Horrible administration.
I mean, these people are just awful.
All they're going to do is continue to push to ban the things that are essentially going to cost you more money with replacements. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the whole argument of replacing gas power with electrical powered. It's like, yeah, but you're going to spend more. And it takes, so to be completely honest, like for a Tesla, I bought mine for like $50K. And the amount of money I've saved in gas has not equaled up to what it would be if I had bought a normal car. It takes years to get your ROI on that. Years. But even still, the idea of replacing gas with electric, it's like, this is stupid. You've already got spiked energy costs. You've got rolling blackouts. You got power system failure, grid failures, and you want to only add to it? So it's kind of like, make this make sense. In order to facilitate creating electrical power, it's got to be gas operated because solar is very unreliant. Mm-hmm. And all they're doing is putting more energy consuming products in your homes. They're going to strain those power sources even more, thus driving up the cost. These people are so stupid. These people are so stupid. And yet liberals will sit there. It's like Joe Biden being the captain of the Titanic. And as they are sitting there going down into the icy cold waters, they're applauding. Oh, what a marvelous captain we have.
Oh, we're
such a good job. Brooklyn Dad Defiant, like about to like drown to death. Oh, he's done such a good job. Lady, go Joe Biden, stick it to the Republicans. It's like, you are so stupid that you would rather see your own country on fire than concede that your administration is a massive, blunderous failure. Like a series of misfortunate events gone awry doesn't even touch what the Joe Biden administration has become.
I mean, he's more dumb than he is defiant.
Bro, insanely dumb. But again, they know what they're doing. They appeal to the common voter, and the common voter is stupid. Common voter's an idiot.
I have to assume that they get some sort of I don't know.
They have to.
Talking points from the Biden administration to post on their, because they all start.
Yep, there it is. Say it.
They all start posting the same exact things, the same exact talking points. So as soon as it comes out that Joe Biden's got these classified documents in a university in Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Well, it wasn't as many as Trump had. Well, he shouldn't have had it anyway because he was the vice president and he can't declassify anything, you stupid idiot.
But guess what? McCarthy is now putting together a committee to investigate the weaponization of the FBI and the DOJ. So you know what's going to happen, folks. They're going to conduct these investigations. They're going to find the evidence. And then, Jim Jordan's going to go on fucking Tucker Carlson and be like, we're going to write them a strongly worded letter condemning these actions. And not a fucking thing is going to happen. Yeah. Not a fucking thing. There will be no arrests. There will not be jack shit. All this is theatrics. It is political theater. Ain't shit going to happen. So everybody's like all in hoopla, like the representatives, Boebert and the rest of them. Hey, kudos to her. She did an amazing job. I will not take that from her. But to sit there and say, now we're getting to work, at least they did stop the 87,000 IRA. For those that don't know, that got nixed. It's not happening anymore. Good for them. Good for Republicans putting a nix on that. But even still, the idea of seeing any type of repercussions from the weaponization of the FBI, it ain't going to happen. That is not happening. So they can do all these investigate. We already know.
Yeah.
Like, we already know. All they're doing is wasting more taxpayer money. The right already knows it's true. The left refuses to acknowledge it. You can sit there and show them the evidence. They will still refuse to acknowledge it. These are bad faith actors. So there's no point. Why are we wasting money? Instead, let's put our noses to the grindstone and fuck the Democrats. Let's just do everything we can in the House to staunch this economic bleed that the Biden administration has caused. And in so doing that, put no to every fucking thing Biden and his group of fucking cronies try and put forward. Just nothing hits the floor. Like, nope, not happening.
Do you think the next 2 years, you'll see more Democrats start to lean more center because of just how terrible this administration is?
No, they're going to lean.
I mean, because you got to have like those. You have the extreme
fringe,
left, the left. They're always going to vote Democrat, but then you have like that fringe that's right on the edge to where, I mean, you've got common sense and you can see what's going on.
Groupthink is a very strong thing. Look at how hard they demonize those 20 Republicans holding out.
Because we saw that.
Look how hard if the GOP does that, the left will magnify that tenfold.
Because we saw that in 2016 with the Bernie Sanders supporters, right?
Yeah.
So the hardcore Bernie Sanders supporters who saw him get cheated out of that election. And like they're not Democrats anymore. I brought him up before, but like the H.A. Goodmans who are always Democrat, always voted Democrat.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd say they all are no longer Democrats because Bernie had a massive young following. Yeah. Socialism appeals
I'm not saying
very
all
heavily.
of them, but there's obviously there's going to be a percent that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Well, I mean, look what happened to Tulsi Gabbard. Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
So.
They do it to their own. I mean, they do it to their own. But again,
see, I could just see more people start to lean more centrist, which is a better thing.
I agree.
Than the alternative.
I agree.
To where you can be like, okay, these guys are all full of shit. This administration is completely full of shit. I mean, you could look at Trump's administration and be like, yeah, okay, most of them are full of shit, but there's some good people in there, and they're getting some things done.
Well, in order to admit that, they're going to have to turn around, look over their shoulders at their constituency base, and see what their opinions are.
Because, for me...
Because, politicians are going to reflect what the voter base says. If the voter base, by and large, is against what the GOP is doing, the politicians are going to echo the same sentiment. So it's not really the politician changing, it's the voter base. That means Democrats are going to have to change. They will not do that. California Democrats will never change. It ain't happening. They are so...
You don't think so?
No, they are so hell-bent in their ways.
I know some Californians out there that...
It is a fucking cult. California Democrats. I'm not talking about California Republicans.
Well, even California Democrats, when I went out there, there was people who lived in like the Palisades, however you pronounce that, I don't know. But they were Democrats.
Right.
But because of how well Trump was doing, they're like, yeah, I'm voting for Trump because he was doing a good job. So I think you see more of those people who are just like, whoever can get the job done, that's who I'm going to vote for.
Yeah.
And they don't give in to all this online fake bullshit that these stupid idiots
one
put
look
out,
at the local
out
economy is enough to say maybe we should vote differently.
Yeah. If you could look at your 401k and see that it's doing really well, then you'd be like, yeah, whoever's in charge is doing the right thing.
I can't even imagine.
But right now, it's cratering.
Yeah. I can't even imagine what 401ks look like right now. How many
people who work hard, been working 25, 30 years, 35 years, putting into their 401k, all of a sudden they see it go into the shitter. And be like, maybe he wasn't racist.
Maybe the orange man wasn't so bad. Democrats start caring when they see their wallets starting to empty a lot. I mean, that's when they really like. Republicans are kind of like, they see what the potential of like a bad policy could be and how it's going to impact their wallets. Democrats only care once it's emptied their wallets. Like, oh, well, hey, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Maybe this BLM thing wasn't real. It's like, no, you got grifted. You got heavily grifted. What do you see in the comments?
The European Biden, he said he's down 60%. Damn.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Patrick said I have a Robinhood account. When Trump was in, I had 10K. It's now down to 2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, consumer confidence, investor confidence is massive when it comes to these types of deals.
Want to take a call?
Sure, let's do it. We can take a call. The number is 214-817-1689. Again, the number is 214-817-1689. Please only call during the live hours. Like, don't call the number once the show has ended. There's no point. We're not picking up. Oh my gosh.
Oh
my gosh, I'm enjoying a nice little 20-year aged port here.
All right, it's open, guys. So let's see who can get through
The
first.
phone is open. Let's see who can come through in the gangbang first. We'll take the first caller. Joe Biden wanting to ban gas stoves. My God. On Tuesday's broadcast at Newsmax TV, American Agenda, Representative Michael Burgess reacted to reports that Biden administration is considering banning gas stoves by pointing out that the administration is requiring people to use stoves that use more electricity at a time when energy prices have spiked. Makes perfect sense. Makes perfect fucking sense.
Get a call?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey, what's happening, guys?
Yellow, what's going on?
Not much here. Let me mute the TV so we don't get feedback. Thank you for your service, sir. First and foremost, I appreciate you putting your life on the line for my freedoms and everybody else's.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Number one. And number two, I'm really busting my butt out here to make ends meet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I pump concrete out here in South Florida.
Oof.
We do everything we can to keep the price low for the people. But
Yeah.
after doing it 20 years,
Yeah.
you know, the stranglehold on the market is killing us.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to get concrete, and or the commercial competition for it is just flat out sickening and ridiculous.
What are some of the obstacles that you're facing in your industry right now as a result of this Biden economy?
Oh, just climbing prices
Mhm.
and just the fuel surcharge alone on the concrete. And it's the whole manufacturing process is making it difficult for people, the regular residential homeowners, to
Yeah.
you know, bring their imagination into a concrete reality.
Yeah.
And plus, every time I go to the grocery shop, shopping is $25 more, and I'm already spending $250, and that's just for me and my wife
Yeah.
a week.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's half my paycheck sometimes when things are slow.
Mhm.
And
That's a very
Other
good
than
point,
that-
because when people talk about like building, like people aren't building houses right now. It's too much, too expensive. Just the fact we were talking about lumber costs. I never really thought about concrete costs, but that makes a very good point. Concrete costs are inflated, lumber's inflated. It doesn't make sense to build right now because whatever you build that house at, give it 2-3 years, Republican takes over, that house property value is going to go way down, and you're going to lose money.
yeah, well, that's the biggest problem that I see on the horizon is that the fact that people are being priced out of homes.
Yeah.
And that you're going to rent it and like it paradigm is going to get jammed down our throats because nobody can afford a real home.
Yep.
And you know how they use eminent domain. I know this sounds a little crazy, but what's to stop them if they catch everybody up in the big net of debt over their head concerning our national debt? The answer is for our government, their credit card to be taken away because they're acting like a crackhead with unlimited funds.
Yeah, you're 100% right. When they have, when the coffers are overflowing, their care, it's kind of like the example we've said many times. When you're down to your last $100, you can be very conservative with that spending. You're only going to spend it on the things you absolutely have to have, the basic requirements. The government doesn't operate like that. It's one of those, as long as the coffers are overflowing, we're going to throw money at the dumbest shit possible. It's ridiculous. But hey, thank you for your call, brother, and God bless you. But I do have a question for you. Being that you're out there in Florida, I assume you're a DeSantis fan, right?
Yeah and no.
Okay, that's
fair. A
fair.
little grease on him, but I mean, you know, I'm not really a loyalist to any particular party. I'm a loyalist like you to the Constitution.
Fair enough.
I want to be as free as possible. I appreciate the freedoms I have. I'm the type of thing somebody should hang by the neck for violating their civil rights. You know, I'm kind of extreme on that.
Yeah.
Because people fought and died for them rights.
Yeah.
Why shouldn't the punishment be any less?
Yeah, I agree. I think I wouldn't call it extremism. I would call it like the older ways that actually worked, that kept a society in check. But the reason I asked you that question is, if you would see a Trump versus DeSantis in the primaries for 2024 or 2023, who do you think you see yourself going with?
I would have to say DeSantis, and my reason being is because Trump has already got everybody up in arms, and he seems as though he came in there under the guise of fighting the swamp, and then he turned around and cut deals with them.
Yeah.
You know, how you going to fight the swamp with them inside the swamp belly? You just, unless you're an actual poison pill and really going to do something.
Yeah.
You know, I got caught up in the QAnon for a second, but then I realized, hey, wait a minute. The vaccine, he's pushing it? Then
Yeah.
What? huh?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the whole thing stunk from the word go, and
Yeah.
I saw it coming, you know, in the end of 2018
Yeah.
when, you know, what's his name, blabbed off, the NBA player blabbed off, LeBron blabbed off about Hong Kong, and then next thing you know, people in Hong Kong supposedly caught a bad flu, the protesters, and that stopped.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, COVID schmovid all over the freaking place.
Yeah.
The common flu that ran away with an election, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think the further we get away from that period of time, the more that people are going to come to the realization that's absolutely true. Because we talked about it, like, and again, thank you for your call, man, and be safe down there in Florida. I know it's hot, pouring concrete. I can't even imagine. That's a definite, like.
Oh, I love it, dude.
Really?
I love it.
I was like, my God, I did Texas road work for a few years.
I've been cutting concrete for 6-7 years, pouring it for over 20, and tire steel and walking, tie beams and stuff, 7 stories up. And that's the closest I could get to military service.
Yeah, you're not missing much.
Building schools.
You're not missing much, bro. You're really not in the military. But thank you for your call, man. I do appreciate it.
I'm always jealous of the glory, dude.
Well, God bless, dude. Thanks for your call. We're going to move on now. We got the Trump trying to ban the gas stoves, and they're weighing in on that. And Burgess said, asking people to go from what is a fairly efficient way of heating and cooking their food to one that is less efficient. In other words, you are going to burn natural gas or coal to generate the electricity that is then going to be used for inducting heating on a gas stove. It makes no sense. Really, there are plenty of other and again, this is the thing that I just don't get with Democrats. It's like you're literally you're putting a middleman in place is all you're doing. Rather than putting gas, you want to go electric, you're just incorporating a middleman that's going to cost most families upwards of $500 just to get the fucking unit. Yeah. Just to get the electric stove.
It's, make no mistake about it. This is all about power.
Oh, yeah.
And what this government can tell you to do.
Yeah. 100%.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because if we really wanted clean energy, it would be nuclear.
Yeah.
That's the cleanest energy that we can have right now.
It's also insanely expensive. Yeah, I know. If we're already going to spend the money, might as well make it efficient.
Okay.
I know. Fair enough. All right, let's keep moving. Toronto Catholic school teacher. Man, you trans people, you just can't help yourselves, can you? You just don't stop. Like, you really want people to hate you. Toronto Catholic school teacher brags of trans Jesus icon in class prayer space. And you want me to tolerate your bigotry? You want me to tolerate your perversions of Christianity? Look, I'm going to say something that a lot of people in the GOP are not going to like. Christianity does not condone homosexuality. I don't care how much of these Joel Osteens come out of the woodwork with their big shiny pearl teeth going to smile and saying, Jesus loves everybody. No, he doesn't. No, he does not. I'm not going to argue theology with people here today. But to sit there and say that, homosexuality is a good thing and can be worshipped in church, you're out of your mind. You are out of your mind. And I love how they try and take God's word and they try and twist it and manipulate it and turn it to fit what they want. Because it used to be that even Jesus said in the little red lettering in the Bible, remember that? That's the important part. Yeah. He even said, I don't come to bring peace. I come to bring a sword. Because basically the truth is going to turn you into dust. It's going to crush you. It's like a rock. Because the truth is very hard to accept sometimes. Why do our egos get in the way? But when the truth comes out and we can understand and recognize certain truths about ourselves, it's how we become better. But when we refuse to do that, and instead we want the arbiters of religious morality to now change the narrative to support our homosexual or immoral beliefs, now you've just lost all reasoning behind why you'd even go to church in the first place. It makes no sense to me. So then you have these trans people coming out here, like, are you out of your mind? Because again, religion is not real anymore. And a friend of mine left a comment on an Instagram post today, and she said that Christianity is probably mostly defended in Russia. I was like, she's actually right. She's actually right. If you want to see pure Christianity, it's forced, don't get me wrong, but that's like the closest you're going to get to an unperverted style.
It's forced in Russia?
Yeah. There's certain things that you cannot do. Or for example,
Christianity is forced.
No, I'm sorry, not forced. It's like you can't change it. They would never acknowledge like a gay preach or anything like that. Like, hell no.
Oh,
no, absolutely not. They refuse to. They're more of the old school versions of it. So when you want to talk about like what's more closely in line with biblical scripture, it ain't America.
Right.
It's not America. We're like the furthest thing from at this point. Like I can't. And the thing is, we become so censor adaptation. We become adapted to seeing these types of news articles to where it's not a big deal. Man, 10 years ago, seeing like this would have gotten somebody shot. This is insane.
Yeah, you can do the Muslim religion, that's for sure.
Oh, do it about the Muslims. They're going to
Yeah, that's Charlie Hebdo.
They're going to Allah Akbar your ass. A teacher in the Toronto Catholic District School Board has bragged on social media about having a pride flag and depiction of Jesus Christ as transgender in a prayer space in his class. So what this person is doing is, now imagine doing this towards any other religion, you're basically appropriating Christian culture to fit your narrative of degeneracy is what this is. That's what you're doing at the core fundamental foundation of this. And then you're going to turn around and wonder why Christians lash back out at you and say, no, you're an asshole. You're trying to take our religion and manipulate it to fit your cultural narrative. You are the reason. Remember how I said the Democrats don't have enemies, they make enemies? It's the same for trans. You don't have enemies, you make them because you cannot accept what you're given. You have equality. You have equal rights. The difference is you just want state money, federal money rather, to go to funding your operations. You want to normalize your mental disorder. Meanwhile, the rest of us that actually believe in science are saying, no, we are not going to conform. We refuse to. And at one point, it was, you live your life, we'll live ours. But it didn't stop there, did it? Now again, you have child-friendly drag shows. You've got homosexuality being rooted in a moral degeneracy that has been espoused by these events that the LGBT has publicly endorsed. And you can defend this all you want. You can defend the LGBT all you want. But all we have to do as Christians, and I'm a poor example of one, do not get that twisted. But all we really have to do, folks, is just wait. Just wait. Look at how insane they've gone in the last 4 years, especially 2 years under Biden. Look how insane they have gone. There's coming a time, and it's very soon, they're going to openly, now they're not doing it as much as people want it to be, or I shouldn't say want to be, but accuse them of doing, they will openly call for pedophilia, and I'm talking about in mass. I'm not talking about onesies and twosies, I'm talking about in mass. You're going to see Hollywood weigh in on it. They're going to try and normalize it, and folks, at that point, that's when the shooting needs to start. Because if the government favors that, you've lost your society. You have lost your society. It's gone. It's ruined. And I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm saying that's the fact of it. That is the fact of it. Now, if you're like me, we are living in the end times. This is the end time. Yeah. I'm not trying to preach to you here.
No, I agree.
But it's like you look at the conditions of the world, and my God, dude, it's Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0. There is no denying that. You look at these small wars. You look at what's going on as far as the perversion. I mean, even the Bible talks about Sodom and Gomorrah. Back in the biblical days, the angels came down and they said, let us have them. We want to have sex with them. And instead, what did he do? He gave him his daughter, I think. It's insane. It's insane. It's no different. But where's this coming from, folks? It's not heterosexuality. Don't get me wrong. Heterosexuality, they still have the same issues, but you don't see it attempted to be normalized within the LGBT. You don't. You can call this hate speech. I really don't care. These are acknowledged truths that we're seeing in society.
Yeah.
And they don't hide it anymore. Had they not crossed that line, we'd be living in tolerance and peace. We'd be fine. But this shit right here, absolutely not. Absolutely not. How dare you? How dare you? But again, like you said before, those in the LGBT that does stuff like this with religion, you wouldn't dare do that to Muhammad. You would not dare do that to Allah. You know why? Because then you'd be called an Islamophobe and they'd probably blow you up.
Yeah. Probably the second thing more than the first thing.
And hopefully it would be the second thing because they'd have it coming. That's what you get. That's what you get. I'm to the point, it's like, you know what? Do it. Fuck them.
I mean, because Christianity is it's a religion of peace.
It depends on what period of time, but absolutely, yes. I'd say nowadays, absolutely,
the teachings in the Bible are teachings of
it's
peace.
It's the zealotry that gets the most traction and press. So, yes, absolutely. But at the same time, we look at the Crusades. Yeah, there's a lot of back and forth between them.
Aside from the Crusades and the people trying to Bible beat everybody in the head about converting to Christianity.
Yeah.
The Bible itself preaches peace and
Yeah,
love.
and there's been a lot of bad faith Christians.
Yeah,
clearly.
absolutely.
And that's why I feel like
just like anything.
Yeah,
But,
anytime a religion organizes, they lose it.
Yeah.
Anytime they have an organized religion, I was having this debate on Twitter. This one Catholic dude was talking about like the Pope, yada yada yada, and it's like you can't argue religion. Y'all have your own Bible. You have your own version of the Bible. It's like so we have no common ground to debate from, and also it's all based in faith. So, but even still. To go back to the main point, you have this trans community that wonders why you're getting so much hate because you bring it on yourselves. You bring it on yourselves because you're trying to be so cutting edge. You're trying to be so you're so edgy. You're so edgy. No, you're a prick. Had you not done this and you just wanted to live and do your thing, we'd be fine. But it just didn't stop there. Toronto, Ontario Catholic School Board teacher Paolo Di Bono made a post on Twitter Monday showing off a prayer table in the Catholic school in which he teaches displaying a rainbow LGBT pride flag and depictions of Christ as half man, half woman. It's your freedom to do so, but the Catholic Church, what the hell? Because Chan LPFASS should see themselves reflected and because we need to dismantle system homophobia and transphobia in our schools and classrooms. That's what this dude's tweeting out. And of course, he's got hashtag BLM and shit like that. So that just means he's retarded. He's a Marxist retard.
BLM. Got
the trans flag. Like, if you look at this tweet, he's got the trans flag up in the... Oh, my God. You got a trans flag hanging there in the classroom. With the LGBT. I was even seeing this shit over in Scotland.
Really?
Oh, yeah. They had the trans flags shit. It's like, no, absolutely not. That's trash.
Well, that's when you know they conspired to do this around the world.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So, like, the elites of the world all got together and came up with this plan of how they wanted to change the world to a new world order, which they themselves openly talk about. If you have all these people getting together and talking about how can we change the world and get one government, what do you do?
I look at this photo. It's a picture of the Holy Bible. I don't know if it's a King James version, it says CBS. And the Bible is on its side, and behind it are two Catholic-style pictures. One on the left, basically showing the picture of Jesus holding a globe with various different symbols on it, and behind him is the cross, and the cross is different rainbow colors, and half of Jesus' face is with a beard, and the other half is very feminine, showing the transgenderism. And on the right, you've got Mary with a rainbow flag behind her, holding her son Jesus with a rainbow flag behind his head. Again, this is why people hate homosexuals. You bring it on yourselves at this point. I don't know what to tell you. When you allow shit like this and you don't openly condemn it, it just, again, what do you expect? I mean, what do you expect people to react with? Love, compassion, tolerance? When you try and hijack their religion? There's a reason you don't see Muslims allowing this. Muslims got it right. They do. Not as far as what they believe, but how they believe it. Some shit like that to get your head chopped off. Because here's the deal, folks. I get all religious liberty. I understand that. I get it. I'm for it. But this is what happens when it's abused. The more and older I get, folks, the more I realize America cannot handle freedom. We cannot handle freedom.
This is Canada, right?
Is it?
Toronto?
Oh, it is. You're right. Even still, this is going to be happening. Don't worry. I mean, we have like drag shows and shit. It's coming. And I'm sure I can't even believe the Catholic Church doesn't the Catholic Church say like
I like to have more faith in the American citizens than I do the Canadian citizens. I just think there's a different attitude. I think we're one and the
same. I think it's the governments.
It is the governments, but I think there are enough Americans that will show up at a school board meeting and shut that shit down like they did in Virginia. So I think that's a blueprint to everybody else around the country when you start to see this shit start to pop up in your schools. Yeah. Because they're trying to go after the children, obviously.
It's disgusting, yeah.
So that's what you do. That's what Americans do. Americans fight, and I think they fight more so than Canadians do, for sure.
I'm just, like I said, I'm cool with a national divorce. I'm cool with secession at this point. If California wants to secede, let them secede. I know they won't. They're too big on that federal money.
You know what? Fuck that. Give them, like, Iowa.
Take Michigan. What if that would be a thing? It'd be like, hey, let's incentivize the liberals to go move out west. Like, you can have the West, give it to them, and then just be like, y'all stay out there, and then you can just run your own shit.
California's too nice. They're
already fucking it up. I saw.
I know, but I mean, you get the shitheads out of there.
No.
get it run right, it's a great state.
Yes, absolutely. The state is gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
I'm talking about the California politics.
The politics and the liberals
They just turned into shitholes.
Yeah.
They turn into shitholes. I will never forget stepping off in L.A.
Delaware
at a
maybe
premiere.
send them to Delaware.
Joe Biden's home state. Okay, interesting point here. Matt Walsh from the Daily Wire. He's in some hot water. Not really that bad. People disagree with him. He somehow listen to his tweet. Pit bulls should be banned, and there is no sane argument to the contrary. They are dangerous animals responsible for a vastly disproportionate number of fatal maulings in this country. The fact that you think they're cute does not outweigh the danger. Ban them. There's some really good arguments on both sides of the aisle on this one.
Yeah.
There's some really good arguments. Now, the first thing I went with is like, okay, what about the gun argument then? It's like, but then again, guns don't have the ability to maul on their own accord. But at the same token, you know what a gun is when you bring it into your home and the inherent level of danger that possessing it might bring to you. The same with a pit bull.
Yeah.
You know what pit bulls are. And I got some stats here. These are number of dog attacks per year. Just for 2021, pit bulls did have the most mauling and deaths. 3,397 attacks and 295 deaths.
Damn.
Rottweilers, 535 attacks and 8 deaths. Pit bulls are way in the lead. Multiple years running.
Yeah,
now, I'm not demonizing pit bulls.
Right.
People are saying it's the owners, and then other people are saying it's also the breed.
No, I think it comes down to those are a high caliber dog. I've talked to one of my buddies I grew up with is a dog trainer. And
I'm not saying they should be banned. I'm against banning it.
yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not for banning anything.
I had a Rottweiler,
Yeah.
and he was telling me this is how you have to raise it and train it, because it's a high caliber dog.
Yeah, kind of like the Malinois.
Yeah.
That's a very popular dog in the veteran service industry. But Malinois come with a very, very high level of energy. Like, you've got to be able to exercise them, run them, train them. They have to have that mental stimulation, if you will. And a lot of people wind up giving those dogs back.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't know what you're biting off once you get that dog. And if you can't commit to training that thing, it's going to shred your house. That's just how it is. So with pit bulls, I had a pit bull. And loved her to death, trained her right, but I couldn't let her around. Like, if somebody would like run near us, she'd go nip her ankles. And it was like, I can't do this. Like, I had to keep her on a leash.
Yeah, see, my dog was
and I
good.
eventually had to give her up because I was moving. I got PCS to a different station. I couldn't keep a pit bull in my house or my apartment.
My Rottweiler loved people, was pretty good with dogs until my brother brought his pit bull over and they got into a fight because of his pit bull. So after that,
But
things got a little.
the point of this, though,
rough.
is that Matt Walsh is calling for them to be banned. And it's like, dude, I don't get his argument. Again, his argument is there are dangerous animals responsible for a vastly disproportionate number of fatal maulings in this country. I was like, is this the hill you want to die on? Like, there's some things that, like, you don't have to. This is John Burke saying this. Keep that in mind. There are some things that you just don't have to tweet. You might have an opinion about it, but I wouldn't tweet it because, again, you can't sit there and say that you're for small government and then want the government to ban a certain breed of dog just because that dog is responsible for the larger number of deaths in this country. So then at what point, if they have the higher number of deaths, then once that's banned, do we go to the next level, which is Rottweilers? Do we ban them next? So it's kind of like you're opening up this floodgate of essentially more government interventionism, and once they get a hold, they don't give it up. So I kind of feel like Matt Walsh is being very hypocritical here. I don't agree with this. I just think that if you're a parent and you're bringing a dog into your home and you have children, I hate to say this, but if you're a fucking idiot, this is what happens.
That's what happens.
Here's the deal. I'm sorry, but National Geographic, they've done a lot of good. Don't get me wrong. These TikToks, these nature things, a lot of good. But something that mankind has forgotten. I saw a video yesterday of this woman swimming with this massive great white. This thing was fucking huge.
Yeah, hard pass on that one, buddy.
And people are like, oh, we're starting to understand. She has a special bond with that shark. It's like, you do realize that shark will eat her in a fucking minute. You forget. These are animals. We have tried to humanize animals. You can't. That is nature. That is nature. You cannot change nature. That is the natural order of things. And these people forget that. So when you bring a wild animal into your home, or even a puppy that is of a certain breed, of a high energy, and you put it around your children, yes, you are doing something fucking stupid. I'm sorry to tell you that. You're an idiot. You are a fucking idiot. That's just all there is to it. Because here's the reason being. If I have a, just say, 75-pound pit bull around my newborn, I'm not going to even give it the opportunity.
No.
Not even if there was because here's the thing. I'm not saying that you can't do that, but I'm saying, and it wouldn't even matter if it was Athena, my dog, my German Shepherd Husky, whom I loved, and she's great with kids. Would I ever leave her alone with a child? No, I would not. Because do I think she'd do anything? No, not really. But if there's even the 1% chance that it could happen, I am not going to take that chance because life is too precious. Way too precious.
Go ahead.
So go ahead, preaching girl. You know what I'm saying?
Go on
But
now.
I am not saying to ban pit bulls, but I am saying if you bring a pit bull into a house with a newborn, you're rolling the dice. Now, I'm not saying it's going to go good, and I'm not saying it's going to go bad, but it's like, why even take that chance?
Yeah.
But at the same token, there's a lot of pit bull owners that have wonderful little just gentle giants, and it's beautiful. But I'm just saying that when you take that chance, you take the chance.
Where did German Shepherds and Doberman Pinschers? Are they on that
Okay,
list?
German Shepherd, third, 113 attacks, 15 kills. Next is Presna Canario, forgive me for mispronouncing that, 111 attacks, 18 deaths. This is back in 2021. Hybrid Wolfdog. A hybrid wolfdog, 85 attacks, 19 kills. Siberian Huskies, 83 attacks, 26 kills. Akitas, 70 attacks, 80 deaths. And Boxers, 64 attacks and 7 kills.
Boxers?
Boxers.
Really?
They're also a very high energy animal. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got one.
I know. I've had a boxer too. Absolutely.
What about gerbils? Mandiga was asking about gerbils.
Anal insertion is up almost 20% since Richard Gere went viral for it.
They
So
got the softest paws.
softest paws. To understand the overall U.S. statistics on dog bites, it is best to start with the pit bull. No dog has a more egregious reputation, but are these fears clouded in myth or reality? Let's look at the statistical period from 2005 to 2020, according to the Canine Journal, an organization that collects and analyzes all dog bite attacks in the country. Pit bulls accounted for 284 deaths in those years. That's a staggering 65% of all dog-related deaths, with 473 Americans killed between 2005 and 2017. Another dog known for its brutal reputation is the Rottweiler. If you combine the number of both dogs, you'll find 76% of the total fatal dog attacks. Those numbers may be shocking, but they might say something more. Instead of arguing that pit bulls bite more, you could argue that they are more efficient once they attack, whereas a bite from a smaller dog may not be fatal. Let's look at some other statistics as we rank the dog breeds most likely to bite or attack according to data. The German Shepherd produces 20 blah, 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 blah. So from 2005 to 2017, pit bulls led the way. On the most recent study in 2021, pit bulls still led the way. So clearly pit bulls are the most violent of the breed of dogs. There's no denying that. I'm not saying that about all pit bulls, but I'm saying you have a statistically higher probability of getting a violent dog when you buy a pit bull than you do any other breed of dog. That's not saying, oh, you shouldn't own one. I'm just saying if you don't factor that in when you buy said dog and it happens, you can't really clutch your pearls and say, oh my, this is just out of the blue. No, now you have the facts. That's all there is to it. It's the same as you say, I want to go buy a car. But the safety rating on this one car you want to buy is rated a lot lower, but you get into an accident and that car does not protect you. Well, it never passed the cert, or it never had good safety ratings as opposed to other cars, but you willfully took that chance. You knew what you were doing. So you can't get upset when you get your legs cut off because you bought a fucking camera. I don't know. But you know where I'm going with this. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm just getting tired of these people going out there. It's like,
what are you talking about?
Yeah. But Matt Walsh is calling to ban them. It's like, it's a little bit much, dude. That's just a little bit much. It's just
And go back to the woman thing.
Go back.
That was entertaining.
What is a pit bull?
What is a pit bull?
What is a pit bull? But that's just me. That's just me. But I read that tweet. I'm like, no, dude, you're off the mark on this one. I do not believe in calling to ban stuff. Instead, educate people. Just educate people. I know there's a lot of prominent figures out there now calling for bans. They don't want pit bulls anymore. They're like, these should be banned. And it's like, wow. You suddenly cave when there's some backlash to freedom. It's like you suddenly want people's rights stripped away and the government to step in and saying, no, you can't have that. I can't even own chickens in my backyard. Fucking chickens. Because of the government. Dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. I can't save myself money because of the government. But instead, in order to access that freedom, I have to spend a lot of money to buy some land that is currently inflated due to the government.
I wonder what the reason is for not being allowed to...
It's got to be noise, and it's got to be the manure. It's got to be. It has to be.
I mean, but what if you clean it up? I mean, dogs shit a lot too, right?
This is true. Dogs bark.
They bark.
That's true.
They shit.
That's a very good point.
I mean, chickens are small. What do they cluck? Can they sleep at night, right?
Yeah.
Do they just get up early?
It could be
That'd
also
the whole
it could
thing?
also be the stench. I imagine they come with a very strong stench, but that
Really?
would also just involve you having to clean up
I
after
don't know.
them.
I've never had any chicken, so
I've been around chickens many times. I mean, they're not the greatest smelling fowl out there. I'll put it that way.
Sure.
But they have a bunch of hens to produce like an egg a day on average. I mean, that's not bad. That's going to save you a lot of money. And again, this is not one of those things that you're going to buy a chicken. It's like, oh, I'm saving so much. But no, you're going to save yourself 10, 15 bucks here and there. That adds up over time. It does. So it's kind of like, I look at it like an ROI. So it's like if I buy a chicken or a chick, say for like 10 bucks, I price them out. You can buy a chick for about 10 bucks. It takes about 4 to 6 months before that little sucker's laying eggs. So the amount of feed you got to feed, you're probably going to invest like a couple $100 into that little chick until it starts pooping out eggs for you.
Yeah.
So to see an ROI on something like that, you have to break it down to the individual cost of egg. You might not ever see an ROI on it, but at the same token, you've got a good solid investment there. You've got something that will produce no matter what the prices do. You're gonna maintain. But here's the other fucked up part. It really doesn't make sense to do it because ultimately you're buying the same feed these chicken owners are, and you're buying it at an exaggerated price. So realistically, you could go out and buy some chickens, but at the same token, you're still getting the costs baked into the feed.
Yeah,
that's the reason the prices are going up so much right now.
I think you'd want a lot of chickens, right?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely.
With like
but you're still buying
2 dozen chickens.
Oh, I'd stick with like 5 or 6.
Really?
That's what I'd start with. Yeah. That's
I mean,
just me.
ultimately.
Ultimately,
Then you could go to the farmer's
yeah.
market and start to sell those
That's
eggs,
actually
right?
a good point. Yeah, you could,
mean,
100%. I mean, shit, you could like be pooping out eggs left and right now. Be selling them for, my God, I think I saw one carton of 30 or carton of 60 was upwards of like 20 or 30 bucks. I think something like that.
Because I think well, my goal is to like have a garden as well.
Yes.
So you can like grow
yeah.
tomatoes, peppers,
Pot.
essentials, the essentials.
How awesome would that be to have your tomatoes right next to your weed? That'd be so great.
Yeah, my niece up in Ohio had, I think she had like, I don't know, 8 or 10 chickens, something like that.
Yeah.
But the foxes and coyotes ate them.
Yep.
Wasn't able to keep them protected.
You know, that could be another reason why they ban them in cities because they will bring out those types of predators. They
we
will
already
attract
have those
them.
predators.
Yeah.
Like in my suburban neighborhood, we've got bobcats and
Yeah, but
coyotes.
it's only going to incentivize them to come further.
They come after the bunnies.
Bunny. That is weird because you can own a rabbit.
Yeah.
You can own a rabbit. And they smell. They do smell. And they poop everywhere.
They do poop
Little
everywhere.
pellets. Like they poop everywhere. Crazy.
Little shitheads.
Fuck those rabbits. I never thought rabbit tasted very good. Wild rabbit, it's too gamey. I didn't like it. No. Well, speaking of immoral degeneracy and how, the liberals love to basically make fun of Christianity, Demi Lovato, this woman is Satan possessed. Demi Lovato's Offensive to Christians album poster banned shows crucifix and bondage. I mean, you've got all these artists trying to like, oh, they're so edgy. Lil Nas like posing as Satan or having sex with Satan. These people are demon possessed. They've sold out for money. Everything they've done, they've sold their souls to the devil, and this is just a clear display of said transaction. Because the majority of people out there are demon possessed. They are demon possessed. And you look at them, and they love this. Do I agree with banning this? No, I don't, because now you got church and state coming together. What makes the government the moral arbiter of what? So please don't take me as saying I support banning this. I'm just saying this is a clear display of what demonic possession can do when you become a liberal, when you sell your soul to the devil, and you just look at this artwork. It's her on a picture of her on like a cross bed, and she's clearly bound up. I mean, somebody should bind her mouth too. The woman's a fucking clown. And she used to be so attractive. She used to be beautiful, and then she became a diehard liberal. She chopped her hair off to look like some butch lesbian. She got fat, and so you're just unfuckable now. The only reason I would fuck you is for your money. That's literally it. If I had no scruples or morals, you would just be a pity fuck, because it's like, even with all your money, you're disgusting. Like, oh God, no. Just no. You just look at her, and it's like, she's got to be ridden with some kind of STI. She has to be. But this woman is just like such a pathetic show. And I can only imagine the type of friends that you have around you to magnify those beliefs and ideals, or rather the lack thereof. It's just sickening. It's like packs of demons just roving together. It's like, what is wrong with you people?
It's funny.
It's
This their excuse. What do they say here? The Universal Group said they did not think the poster used to promote Lovato's album would be seen as offensive.
bullshit. Bullshit.
We didn't think
Bullshit.
that Christians would be.
They knew damn well what that was going to do, and they did it for good reason because they knew they'd get responses.
And buy this stuff.
No.
They're not listening.
No.
I mean, I don't think they're listening to this. Honestly, I don't know who this lady is and couldn't name one song that she's ever sang. So.
She used to be on the charts. She did, and then she just kind of fell off because she went super woke, and people got sick of it. It's the same with Taylor Swift. She gets super woke, and it's like, you know what? We're tired of fucking the same base that you got famous from. You've turned your back on, and you went with the woke leftists, and it's because again, follow the money. They're gonna go where the money leads them. That's what they're going to do. That's what they always do. That's why the devil is just they make deals with the devil.
Did you ever see that one docu-series that they did on Taylor Swift? It was right around the time that, I think it was 2016, right around that time they were filming her, and she's traveling all over the place doing these concerts, and there's a big election in Tennessee where she's from, and she had spoken out about why it was important for her candidate to be elected because of women's choice and abortion and that kind of stuff. And when her candidate didn't get elected, she was just devastated that her opinion didn't matter. But she has all these people around her telling her all these things as to why this person. So I don't know that these celebrities are all
there.
All there.
Oh yeah, they live in a whole different reality. Absolutely,
they've got handlers that are telling them what to talk about. Even
Micah
Parsons, when he. You know who Micah Parsons is?
No,
he's a linebacker for the Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys. So he came out and said something controversial.
I remember that, yes. That wasn't that long ago.
No, it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, you recanted instantly.
He was like, I had some people that talked to me and educated me on the thing and then gave an explanation.
What was that for? Because he was right at first.
What was it for? I can't remember what it was. I just remember thinking to myself, okay. He had said some things, and probably his agent called him up and said, listen, you don't want to get into this because it's going to cost you money, so you need to go back. You need to walk it back.
I remember seeing that tweet, and I just looked at my watch like, how long before he recants? How long before the woke mob?
It said something about Biden. And he was like, I'm not a fan of Biden.
Right,
He's not a friend of Trump.
Yeah.
It was something along those lines.
It was like a neutral stance to take. It's like, I can respect that. I was like, but the left won't. No, the left won't. They got that dude on the fucking phone that said, you better delete this shit and apologize. Otherwise, we're sending the queers after you.
So they got the agents and jerk them back. And we're like,
oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. You want to talk about modern day slavery to the alphabet mob?
Yeah.
There's a reason more and more people do not like the LGBT. That's just them's the facts.
So,
and they bring it on themselves. This is not like homophobic. This is simply saying because of what your organization has done now, like how far do you have to go before you start saying, no, we should not support the LGBT? Do they actually have to be fucking kids in front of you before you're like, hey, wait a minute. I know they're going to call me a bigot and Islamophobe, but I just don't think that having sex with you, oh my God, you're a bigot, you're a homophobe. Oh no, please don't do that. Who fucking cares? Who fucking cares what they think about you? LGBT is nothing but fucking immoral degeneracy anyway. Let them get married at first, and then what do we get? This right here. Oh, you can hate me all you want, but it's fucking true. I'm still for the freedom to do as you want. But once you cross the line and go after the kids, all bets are off. All bets are off.
Agreed.
Last but most certainly not least, you know what's doing really good these days? Army recruiting.
Really?
No, not at all. It's doing horrible. They are like hemorrhaging. It came out that General Miley confirmed that he actually hid the nuclear codes from Trump. If Trump would have called for him, he would have hid them, he said. He admitted to Nancy Pelosi. But hey, Dakota Meyer and Tim Kennedy is a good dude, right? Good dude. Treason.
Pretty good dude.
Whatever. Well, as a result, recruitment levels have been plummeting. SecDef Lloyd Austin, his witch hunt, his first 60 days in position, went after white Republicans with a 60-day stand down for domestic terrorism. General White Rage Miley, that's just a piece of shit. Well, as a result, more and more people don't want to join the military. Now you have to use pronouns. You have to undergo transgender therapy training. You have to go through, and folks, let me put it this way for those that don't know. When you think Army, think massive corporation. Massive corporation that gets to sleep outside sometimes. That's pretty much it. You're going to attend quarterly briefings on suicide prevention out the fucking ass to the point where it makes you want to blow your fucking brains out. It's, oh my God, transgenderism training, sensitivity training. This is real in the United States Army, United States military. This is real. I'm not joking. I am not joking. You will go and you will sit in like an hour to 2 hour briefing. If somebody in your unit blows their brains out, you're going to go to a mandatory suicide prevention briefing. That's going to last you like another hour to 2 hours. It's going to cut into your training. It's going to cut into your time off, because ultimately all the Army wants to do is check boxes and say, well, hey, this is like, you know, so-and-so killed themselves. Like, well, did they get briefed on like suicide prevention? Yeah, and they still did it. Well, brief them again. We got to stop it. That's clearly not working, so brief them more. It's like, well, if the initial thing didn't fucking stop it, maybe we should start looking more so at leadership within the ranks and seeing why these dudes are blowing their fucking heads off. But no, instead it's just like, well, just brief them again, Johnson. That's a good idea. Brief them again. You have retards running the show. You have retards running the show. So as a result, the Army and military recruitment numbers overall have plummeted. They have lowered the standards left and right. Now listen to this. The Army now expands program for recruits who don't meet the weight test requirements as recruiting crisis deepens. All right, well, you know, we're not making recruiting numbers. Let's bring in the fat asses. Let's do that. Let's adjust, because nothing.
That's the plan?
Yes, I do. I genuinely do.
Kind of seems like it. Like they don't want people to join the military.
Your military must have alpha male fighters in it. You will not have a functional military with beta bitch soy boys and women. It will not happen. It will not happen. I'm telling you. You look at the condition of the military today, it is fucking garbage. Garbage. And this is not one of those rants of like, back in my day, there is a clear, stark difference between the military of the early 2000s and the military of today. And the simple fact of using federal money to undergo gender reassignment surgery is a fucking slap in the face. That is not what taxpayer money is used for. Because I saw one fucking new bro vet influencer who's trying to make fun of bro vets, and he's, you know, I love how these new up and coming military influencers do it. It's fucking hilarious to me, because they want to make fun of the bro vet generation. It's like, let's get one thing straight. Had you existed back during those times, you probably would have been a bro vet as well. Don't even sit there and pretend like you would have been different, because that was all the fucking rage. And then we eventually started coming out of it and saying, hey, this is kind of fucking cringy and stupid. And then you start looking back and say, yeah, that was really dumb. But then these dudes stand there on this podium of saying, well, please don't be a bro vet. That whole movement was stupid. It's like, yeah, you probably would have been a part of it, dude. So don't even sit there and try and like pretend you're above it. But the simple fact that these dudes now are trying to say like, oh, don't sound like a bro vet by complaining about how the military is versus then. It's like, oh, really? So then what is your prescription to fix this then? Because clearly you are not meeting recruitment numbers. People do not want to stay in your military. But just for the simple sake of you not wanting to sound like a bro vet, well, don't bitch, because we don't want to sound like. Sometimes it is good to be a fucking bro vet, because they did have some points. To generalize all bro vetishness as being stupid is also kind of like intellectually dishonest. There were some good points that a lot of the bro vet era veterans were making, myself included, that have not changed. Your woke military has turned to shit. Has turned to shit. You don't even have standards anymore. You have no fucking standards. You still got your basic trainees with that block mentality that go down to their line, and some young fucking team leader gets stuck with a shit sandwich they got to fucking deal with, because you handcuffed the drill sergeants, and the recruitment standards were complete garbage. And ask me how I know this. Back in 2006, sit down, you little fuckers. You little veterans that are currently serving, sit down, you little cocksuckers. Listen to me. Listen to Daddy Burke real quick. Back in the day, when the Iraq War first really kicked off, I know combat's something that none of you little fuckers really know about, but let me give you a little insight here, okay? What they did back in the day under Donald Rumsfeld is we did not have enough troops in Iraq, because IEDs really make a big presence known, if you will, in 2005, 2006. That's when we really started getting into some serious fights in Baghdad and the surrounding areas. The Taliban and the rest of them, Republican Guard, all of them motherfuckers, started realizing, hey, we cannot beat the American forces in a toe-on-toe foot war. What we can do is guerrilla warfare in urban areas, and they fucking excelled at it. They excelled at it. There is no denying that. So then what happens? Well, suddenly the popularity of the war took a turn, and suddenly the patriotism started wavering. But what did Donald Rumsfeld want to do? We need more troops. To lock down Baghdad, you got to surge troops. So yeah, the 2006 surge happened. So what do? They lowered the recruitment standards, and they let in fucking all types of pieces of shit that should never have been recruited in the first place. You lowered the standards, and essentially you get what you pay for, folks. That's the truth. So what did? You handcuff your drill sergeants. You started changing standards, lowering the standards to bring more people in. And as time progressed from 2006 forward, those turds that you opened the floodgates to, well, they stayed in and they got promoted. Now they're in charge of a lot of soldiers, and they never had that military idea or mentality instilled in them to actually follow orders and leave that civilian mindset behind. So now they're extremely toxic fucking leaders, and soldiers don't want to stay in and serve under them. So what are you doing? You're going to do the exact same thing again. The exact same thing again, except the only thing is now you've got all this woke bullshit that's already infested itself into the military. The military is compromised. And the very same people that are dropping dead from these vaccines right now that the MSM is trying to cover up, the military forced their own members to go through it. So for the sake of a national security reason as to why you forced the jab on them, it kind of blew up in your fucking face. That's how stupid your leaders are. Folks, it does not take a rocket science to run a military. It really doesn't. There's a lot of common sense decisions that have to be made, but don't you dare sit there for 1 second and make them think, or make you believe or think that it's complicated, because it's fucking not. It's really not. If you use some common sense to a lot of these issues within the military, you can fix it. Ask me how I know, because I fucking did it for a very long time. That's the fucking truth. So all you're doing again is a future of the military. You are degrading it because you're not recruiting enough. But instead of asking ourselves, hey, why are we not meeting recruiting standards or criteria? You know why you're not going to ask that? Because it forces you to ask that question of, should we have gone the opposite direction of woke rainbow bullshit within our ranks? And you will not do that. The military is ran by contrarians, and you've only pigeonholed yourself, and you'll continue to further devolve and go down that rabbit hole of woke retardation. And your numbers are going to continue to hemorrhage because also, especially with this war in Ukraine, moms and dads of the middle and lower class are not going to want their children to go sign up to go fight and die in some bullshit war in Ukraine. If you think Iraq and Afghanistan were hard enough to fucking get people to recruit to go fight in, the wars in the Middle East, go do the Ukrainian war where you're fighting actual fucking tanks, folks. This is a whole different ballgame. Now you've got winter conditions. You got motherfuckers freezing. You got foxhole fighting. You got drones. I saw this one video. A Russian drone dropped a grenade into a troop or into a trench of Ukrainians. Blew one dude's face clean the fuck off. God. This is a different war. A much different war. So all these little fucking retards running around, all these young 17 and 18-year-olds, oh, you're prime for the picking, baby. You are prime for the picking. Those recruiters are looking at you like slobbering all over themselves. I got myself a new recruit. Because what do they want? More American meat to feed the global military-industrial complex. They need boots to get over there to fight these fucking pointless forever wars. It's the fucking truth, folks. Now, how about that for bro-vet patriotism? Why don't you make your little funny videos talking about shit like that? Instead, it's too easy to fence sit and make fun of the bro-vets and make fun of other shit. But you will never actually talk about important, crucial issues that are affecting our military, that overall affect the national security. But now we can't have that conversation. It's the same in recruiting for the police and shit like that. 100%.
Yeah. Yep.
Same thing. The U.S. Army is expanding a pre-basic training course that allows candidates to enlist who do not meet the weight and aptitude requirements in an effort to fight a recruiting crisis plaguing every branch of the military. So what you're essentially doing now is that you're forcing recruiters to have to take a special vested interest in these recruits and getting them to cut weight. That's not a recruiter's job. Now, technically it is. A lot of recruiters, if you like a subject or a candidate is like on the line of like 5 to 10 pounds, they'll work with you. Mm-hmm. They will put you on a diet. They'll give you an exercise plan. They have morning PT that you can show up with, and they'll start working out with you to help you cut that weight. But it's like, if you're 50, 60 pounds, bro, they're going to tell you, like, come back when you're closer. It's not worth our time right now.
Come back when you're an A cup.
An initial pilot for the program at Fort Jackson, South Carolina in August was open to recruits who had 6% more body fat than Army standards or had scored between 21 and 30 on the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery Test. Oh my God. The ASVAB. Folks, okay. Oh my God. 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 Okay, for civilians that don't know. The ASVAB. You're going to take the ASVAB while you go through the enlistment process. The ASVAB has various different topics. Now, I took mine back in 2000, 2001, so I'm sure it's changed since then. But the ASVAB essentially is going to measure your scores in various different topics or subjects. For example, mechanics, mathematics, biology, things like that. So you're going to take a big test. I think the test takes like an hour to 2 hours to take. And they're going to basically see where you stand on that test. And based upon your scoring, you're also going to be told, like, you know what, based upon what your test numbers are, we advise that you undertake this job. So, for example, if you score really high, you're probably going nuclear, you're probably going military intelligence or something like that. Granted, I know military intelligence is an oxymoron, and it really is. But still, if you score low, there is truth to the fact that there are low numbers in the infantry. But the infantry is so vast and big that it actually has higher ASVAB scores because of just sheer numbers. But still, the point being is, when I went through, you scored below a 55%, you're not getting in, and you're going to have to retake it. Now they're dropping it to 21 and 30? They're taking retards. They're taking stupid people. And here's the thing, folks. I know it sounds funny to say, but that same kid that is not intelligent, he should not be in the military, because all you've done is you've created a problem. You didn't create a product, you created a problem. So that product that recruiter has taken, he's packaged, he's recruited, he's done all the paperwork, they send him to MEPS, they go through the whole process of issuing uniforms, inoculations, all this bullshit, and they send him to basic training, where the first problem is with the drill sergeants. You got a kid that is too stupid to learn. I'm not kidding, folks. I was a drill sergeant for 2 fucking years, and the products that I got handed by recruiters, who, by the way, it's not recruiters' faults. They get told what to do by USAREC and the rest of them. They basically have to just dance to the tune that their taskmasters play for them. That's all they can do. Otherwise, their careers are over. I know, it sucks. I can't blame the recruiters. It's the higher-up officers. They're full of shit. Anywho, drill sergeants get this product. It's a kid. He's stupid. He can't be trained on weapons. He doesn't get it. He has no coordination. He can't fucking march. He can't even fucking shave himself. I am not playing with that. You think I am? There were kids I had to teach how to shave, folks. How to shave, because they didn't have father figures. I can't blame them, but they didn't know how to shave. Now take that and magnify the levels of inexperience in life by 10. Drop those scores, and you get idiots within the ranks.
I don't know, man. That's pretty bad.
It's bad.
Like my dad wasn't around either, but I figured out how to shave.
We got, back when I was a drill, we had Generation Couch Potato making its way through basic training. It's only exacerbated tenfold. It's gotten so bad because the most common injury that you saw on the trail from privates was hip injuries and shin splints, because they were not conditioned. They have done no physical activity. They've never had stress put on their shins, their knees, their hips, their back, and you're joining the infantry. Now, I don't know if I imagine the standards have probably dropped immensely, but back when I was going through in 2001, you had to complete up to a 25-mile foot march with at least a 35 to 40-pound pack. You're weighing more. You're going to have about 60 pounds worth of shit in there. But you're doing a 25-mile road march in 24 hours. It's like 7 miles out, you're doing an objective, and you're up for about 48 hours straight. It's your final process. They call it the bayonet. And back during the day, there was a lot of pride in that, because when you complete that bayonet, and you have to do like the down helicopter pilot. You got to basically find this helicopter pilot. They give you the coordinates on a map. You got to go find them. You get into a firefight. You got to drag them. You got to perform first aid. And once you complete that mission, you pack up all your shit and you're hiking another 10 miles to the next objective. And you're doing this for like 48 hours straight on very little food. And then once you finish that, you go to what's called Honor Hill. So it's about 2 o'clock in the morning. You're marching back in to where you train at. And there's this hill that you passed many times. You see the gates, and the gates on the top say, like, behind here are the world's finest infantry or some shit. It's really, you look at it, it's like, I want to go on that hill. So the very end, it's about 2 a.m. You are tired as fuck. Your feet are killing you. You had very little chow, no sleep. You are worn down, but you did it. You finished the bayonet. So now you get marched up that hill and the gates open. There's this massive fucking bonfire. All these little tiki torches, minus the white supremacists. Just get that out of your mind.
They got all these beautiful white hoods.
But there's a massive cross right in the middle burning. No, it's this massive bonfire. And you have your canteen cup. It's what you put your canteen in inside the canteen pouch. So it's like your cup that you can dump shit in. You have your canteen cup, and it used to be you put Gatorade, and they called it grog. And you dip your canteen cup and you go stand in line. And the infantry symbol are cross rifles. They had that awarded to us, I think, since back in World War II, probably before that. And the rite of initiation is the cross rifles come on a little pin that you wear in your dress blues, but they take that on your dirty uniform and they slam it into your collarbone, and that you get your blood rank in a sense. So you become initiated. That's your initiation. You went through 25 miles of fucking hell, and then you get pinned. And at the end, you want to get pinned. You're like, fuck yeah, I work for that. But they took all that away. It's all gone. No more blood pinning. You can't do any of that.
No, it's Velcro.
No, it is. It really is. I shit you not, it's Velcro.
It's double-sided tape.
It's double-sided tape. There you go. You're in the infantry now.
And we're going to push it firmly onto your shoulder.
God. It's gotten so bad, folks. It's a fucking joke. It is a fucking joke. But again, with that all being said, you can sit there and talk about bro vets all you want, but those motherfuckers knew how to serve. They knew how to serve. And then you look at this shit. The lowering of recruitment standards. Folks, this is a threat to national security. Make no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is a threat. You are plussing up the ranks. Let's look at it back during like Roman times. You want to recruit stupid people to fight for you? No, you want look at the Spartans. You know why they were so effective? The weak were never allowed in there. Never. To go into the Agoge at like age 6 and graduate at like age 18 or 19, you underwent a lot of mental and physical trauma just to be able to wear that scarlet cloak and get your shield and spear issued to you. It was a rite of passage. Nowadays,
he got a post, put him in. He's good. Put him on the front line. Make him a tank driver.
Folks, I'm not playing. I am not playing. It sounds funny. I am not joking. That's just, again, 13 years in the Army, folks. As a drill sergeant, 4.5 years in Iraq and Afghanistan, all over the country, all over the world. I'm telling you, I saw different militaries. I'm telling you, this does not take a rocket scientist to figure out. The fact is, we have woke leadership. We've got bureaucrats in uniform, and that's the problem. But all right, folks, that's going to end it here for the show today. We are not going to have a show tomorrow. I'm getting LASIK surgery done, so I'm not going to be in. I don't know if I'll be in Thursday or Friday. We'll just have to see how I feel. I'm excited to get, Thursday. Might not be in Friday. I'll see how I feel, but getting the eyes checked out. They're going to do some surgery to help me see better. But anywho, we appreciate that. Again, don't forget to sign up for shellshockcbd.com. If you have not already done so, we're giving away a brand new iPhone 14. That's the end of this month. It's coming up. We're on the January 11th, so we still got a little over 2 weeks there. That's good. Gives you plenty of time. Get paid, go check out some Halo gummies, go check out some CBD oil, the Rack Out gummies, the salves, the healthy gummies. We got the ashwagandha, the elderberry, the apple cider vinegar. We got the new tattoo bomb. Go buy yourselves 2 things of tattoo bomb. It's right. I think that'll be close to $50, and then buy some free sample or get some samples for like $5. There you go.
There it is.
There it is right there, and you're automatically entered to win. It's just that easy, folks. Don't sit on this. That's what she said. That's what he said. Anywho, you got anything to add, my man?
You guys have a great day.
As always, you stay savage, America.